Welcome! Today I'm gonna throw some pots in my all-time favorite clay from George & Snyder. It's called 551. It has a lot of grog in it, so it makes it very strong and very suitable for ragu and pitfire. Except for one thing, as you probably noticed, it is quite dark. Now it have this beautiful red color because of all the iron, but when you fire it, it becomes like a dark brown. That can be beautiful for normal pieces that you glaze, and the glazes actually looks really good on this clay. But for pitfire, we want typically a white surface because the subtle colors of the pitfire doesn't come so strong out on a dark surface. Now, with a high amount of grog, and I don't know, there could be other things with this clay, but it just makes it so super strong that it can sustain almost anything. A good example of that is this pot. It's not one of my favorite pots, but it's a good example. I thrown it and I burnished it, and I did what is called firing with this. Obvara is without a doubt the most brutal kind of firing that you can do. And it takes a really strong clay to survive that, because basically you fire the pot after it's been bisque fired. You fire the pot typically in a ragu kiln up to 800 or 1000 degrees Celsius. Take it right out of the kiln, put it into this combination of flour and yeast and water just for a few seconds, and that creates these wonderful patterns. And then you put it into cold water to stop that obvara function on the clay. So basically you take it out 1000 degrees, up to 1000 degrees Celsius, a warm pot, and put it into cold water. And of course, the thermal shock of that is extreme, and it takes some special clay to survive that. But this clay can survive it. So if that can survive that, I would say it can survive anything. Ragu, pitfire, whatever you do, it's a very strong clay. But the problem is the surface. It is a dark surface. In this case, I didn't care about it, and I think it's beautiful in its own way. But here you can see an example of a pit-fired pot that I did with the same clay. And I mean, it does look good in some way. You know, it's not bad, but of course the more subtle colors of the pitfire doesn't come out as strong on this dark surface. You can see how dark it is down here in the bottom. But there is a way to combine it so that you get the capabilities, the strong clay that this is, and combine it with a wider surface. And in this video, I'm going to show you how. So please stay tuned and watch till the end, because I hope that you're going to like this. I'm going to start out with this lump of clay. It's a couple of pounds a kilo, maybe a little bit more. I'm going to do some pots that are not so big now, because I'm going to this workshop and I'm going to teach Pitfire. And a lot of students, there's 40 students, but we do have 3 barrels that we can fill. But I'm trying not to make them too big. I'm just going to throw some smaller pieces. So let's start out with this one. I don't actually wet this clay a lot. I did wet it just a little bit, but it doesn't need to be wet because it's so well prepared in the bags that I get from the factory. And unlike porcelain that you need to awaken, you don't really need that with this stoneware. So I more or less can just put it on the wheel and throw with it. But just to make sure that particles are well aligned and is completely centered, I do cone it up and down a few times, and that tends to be enough. And then as always, remember when you cone it up, make sure you're not getting a crater here, because then when you push it down again, you're going to trap air bubbles. And then when you push it down again, lean your hand a little bit forward, because by doing that, you're folding it in instead of creating this mushroom shape that will again trap air and water bubbles underneath it. So just by pushing it forward a little bit, not too much, because then you can push it off your bed, but something like that. And see now, it's already centered. It really only takes a few seconds. So now we're ready to open it up. It's got just a perfect consistency. I just got it from my pottery store, and it's so fresh and it's soft enough to throw, but not too soft. It's just wonderful. And as always, compress the bottom, because even though it's not so bad with this clay, it's one of the reasons that you get S-cracks in the bottom if it's not well compressed. So I'm gonna make sure to do that. You can't really do it too much. So if you're in doubt, do it a few more times. And as always, compress the rim after each pull. That way, make sure that it stays round and even. And I'm just making sure that the walls are even all the way up. In general, it's good to have even walls, but for Pitfire pots, it's even more important, because if there's different thicknesses, it will expand and extract in different ways when you heat it up, which we do very rapidly, and cool it down. So if it's uneven, it's more likely to crack. So it's even more important for Pitfire pots. going to take out the water at the bottom because I don't want the pot to be weakened too much down there. So, slowly getting the lower part the way I want it. And as you can see, even with this much grog, it still feels very, very smooth. And that is, of course, because the grog size, the size of the particles are very, very small. So the last thing I'm going to do is just to make sure that there's no water left at the bottom. Because of course that's going to weaken it and also will make it dry much slower than the rest of the pot. And that will contribute to the risk of having S-cracks. I'm just going to take off the slurry down here. It's not that much. I'm going to do the rest in the trimming, but it's always nice to get rid of some of it now because then it doesn't have to dry. It's just a little bit of slurry. So that was the first pot. And I don't know if you could see it, but it is super nice to throw in. It is so smooth and easy. And it really, really doesn't feel like there's 40% grog in it. It's super smooth and nice. And as you can see, I can get a very nice surface. And next, I'm going to trim it, of course, and then burnish it and do the last treatment so we can get that white surface. But that's going to be tomorrow. So let me make a few more pots like this. So that's it. Another nice shape. I like these classical shapes. And it's actually funny, I went to this exhibition, I watched ceramic art from almost 2,000 years ago up to now. And the basic shapes, shaped like this, with these kind of proportions, people have been making for thousands of years. And I don't know, it's somehow resonate with humans. And I don't know, the proportions are just not generally good. I like this. Anyway, I'm gonna throw a few more. I'm not gonna show you all that, but I'm gonna come back to you tomorrow, and then we're gonna see how I can magically transform this dark surface into a whiter surface that will be appropriate for Pitfire. So that was it for today. Now I have to dry, and then I will get back to you tomorrow when I will do the trimming and start the application of that white surface. So come back and see that. And if you like this video and you want to be notified about the new ones coming up, with the finishing of these Pitfire pots, please subscribe and share if you like. And please write a comment if there's something I missed or something you're in doubt about. So I hope to see you soon again.